Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome to our coffee times together. Today I am here to actually talk about a film that it's not horror, but I do like to make movie reviews of a lot of different films that I watch. Normally I do like to just make horror movie reviews because horror is what really keeps my heart pumping. However, I do watch all sorts of films. I do like nearly any movie genre. I am just willing to check it out. Luckily, I was able to go to the cinema here in Germany to watch this film because in Germany the cinemas are open. There are a couple of measures, of course, to protect ourselves, but it is possible to go to the movies here in Germany. And I went to see this film on the release date on the 26th of August. That is when it came out here in Germany. And I was confused and pleasantly surprised with this film, so I'm just here to give you my review. As always, I do like to keep my reviews spoiler free, and if you love movie reviews, specifically horror, because that is mostly what I tend to talk about in my channel, as well as horror collectibles, remember to subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more coffee times with me.
It's coffee time!
And now let's go to the movie review. So because this film, it is so complex, there is not too much, honestly, that I'm going to be able to talk about when it comes to the plot, because we will be entering spoiler territory and we do not like to spoil movies in this channel. Tenet is a 2020 spy film written and directed by Christopher Nolan, who produced it with Emma Thomas. It stars John Davis Washington, Robert Pattinson, and Elizabeth Debicki. The plot follows a secret agent who must manipulate time in order to prevent World War III. So Nolan was kind of toying with the idea of this movie for like a decade at least, and I believe it took him 5 years to finish the screenplay for the movie. So this is a movie that was really well thought. And you can already see by the title that this movie is about reversing, like something in reverse, because Tenet, if you read it backwards, is also Tenet. And I think that this movie is genius. I don't think it's his best, strongest film, but it is definitely worth a couple of watches. The reason why I'm saying it's worth to watch it a couple of times is that the first time around you're not going to be able to see all the different details and plot lines that are going on because there is like a lot that is going on. This is such a well thought through film and everything is weaved together wonderfully, but you're not going to be able to see everything and understand everything the first time around. This is a very ambitious project that Nolan took, and he was able to portray his story, his vision, using 0 green screens and very little CGI. So you can imagine all the work that was put into this film in order to avoid using all of these, resources that we do have and we see a lot of filmmakers use. But this film just felt so well put together, also due to the fact that the visuals are accomplished without using so much technology. Due to the complexity of the film, this is not going to be for everybody, obviously. From the first minute, you're already questioning everything. You have so many unanswered questions. Sometimes you don't know what's going on. You are trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And it is a movie that is going to challenge you to think, and to think outside the box a lot of the time. And like I said, a lot of things are not going to make sense at the beginning. Some of them are going to make sense later on, but you're still going to leave the theater with a lot of questions. One of the best things of the film, like I already mentioned, were the visuals, because there is so much work put into these visuals without using the green screen or without using a lot of CGI. You're going to see people moving forward, fighting with people moving backwards, and it is such a pleasure for your eyes. Like, the visuals in this film alone are reason enough to watch it. You're going to see buildings putting themselves back together, crumbling down. This is just such a trip. Honestly, this is another movie from Nolan where he's kind of playing with time. We have time exploration. This time around it's kind of like not just people, also objects, and there is something called inversion, which it just means when it's being played backwards. I'm not going to say much about that because you're supposed to figure it out everything by yourself in this film. It's not spoon feeding any information. There's a couple of times where it kind of feels like he's trying to help you a little bit because it is very complex, like I said, but it is a film that it's not really spoon feeding you much and you have to figure things out by yourself. Together with the visuals, I have to mention the score of this film because it is fantastic. There are some times where you're going to hear things being played backwards and it's just such a pleasure for your ears. I love the score of the film. The only problem that I had myself, and I know a lot of people had as well, was that the visual effects and the score in general, like the music and everything, was so loud that you could barely hear what the actors were saying. Luckily, I did see a version of this film with subtitles, so I was able to follow up most of the story, but there are some parts where they're talking with their helmets on, and honestly, if I would not have had subtitles, I would not have been able to hear a word. So it is really hard to understand a lot of the dialogues of this film without subtitles. The movie is doing something different when it comes to the editing, when it comes to the visual work, and I have to grant this to Nolan. He has such a vision that it's so different, and I think that's what I really like about his films. The cast was also amazing. I absolutely love the whole cast. Now, this is more of a plot-driven film than character-driven, so there was not much exploration done on many of the characters, which is a pity because you really want to get to know them. You really want to understand where they're coming from and to see if that also helps understand the decisions they are making. However, there is one character, the one played by Elizabeth Debicki, that it is not at the beginning of the film one of those characters that seem to be so important, but you realize that she's one of the most important characters of this film, and she is one of the characters that has the biggest evolution, exploration, and growth in the whole film, and that's what I really loved her as a character. I absolutely loved her performance. I ended up giving the film a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. However, there is a lot of questions still in my head. I'm gonna have to rewatch this movie a couple of times before I can truly understand every little detail. I'm really sure that once you start watching this film over and over again, you're gonna be able to see more details, more connection, more kind of hidden messages. So this is definitely a movie that it's not enough to watch it just one time. Alright, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this spoiler-free movie review. Let me know down below if you have been able to watch Tenet or if you're planning to. Also, let me know what is your favorite Christopher Nolan film. Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up to support the channel. If you want to follow me on the social media, as always, the links are down below. And I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!